Okay, good afternoon, everyone. We'll get started with the webinar. So welcome to another webinar in our series of ongoing vendor webinars. Today we're going to be having a presentation from Ferrari Electronic. So Ferrari Electronic is a German company, highly specialized in solutions and products sitting around the Link and Skype for Business environment or ecosystem. It's not the only thing that they do, as we'll also have a look at briefly in today's presentation. They have a big portfolio of different types of solutions, but they specialize in Link and Skype for Business solutions. So as an example, Ferrari Electronic is the only European vendor of Link and Skype for Business solutions that have an enhanced certification level when it comes to Link 2010, Link 2013 certifications of their Ferrari electronic gateways and session border controllers. Today's presentation is primarily going to be around the Cloud Connector Edition scripts. So they'll be doing a presentation on that. And before we get started, just a couple of quick housekeeping notes. So if you want to ask any questions, then please go ahead. Just use the chat box on the right-hand side. And we'll take all of the questions at the end of the session, where we'll have our Q&A session. And if it's the case that you forget to ask a question, during this presentation here, no problem. You can always send an email to our team, to sales@cytec.ae, and our team will be sure to assist you. Of course, also be sure to keep an eye out on our website for any future upcoming webinars. And I think without further ado, we will hand over to Mr. Robert and to Johan, so we can get started with the presentation. Please go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, thank you very much, Amara, for this introduction. Yeah, we are proud today to present all Cytec customers and resellers our solution around our OfficeMaster Gate portfolio, and also our, I would say, concepts or recommendations for the Microsoft Cloud Connector Edition. Before we start, let me shortly introduce myself. My name is Robert Schneider. I'm responsible for the distribution channel at Ferrari Electronic, and today with me is our Chief Strategy Officer, Johan Deutinger, who will explain our recommendations for the Cloud Connector Edition. Okay, in the beginning, I would give you shortly an overview about the milestones about Ferrari Electronic. Ferrari Electronic was founded in 1953 by Franz Ferrari. It was an inventor, and the company was also based in Berlin. And in this, let's say, period, we were developing and manufacturing medical technologies for measuring blood plasma. These devices were certified by the UNO, and we delivered them all around the world. And a few years later, or some more years later, I would say, we switched from developing medical technology to IT. And we developed the first intelligent fax card, and this fax card has the brand Ferrari Fax, and this brand still leads the market until today. I mean, we must rename in the past this brand because an Italian car company wants to use this brand for his cars. So we switched to the brand OfficeMaster. But this Ferrari Fax is still so famous until today that all customers, or mostly all resellers, know this product as Ferrari Fax. So a few years later, we developed a revolutionary hardware concept. It was called OfficeMaster Cardbox. It was very easy to install, and it was, you can say also, it was a plug and play hardware. And we improved this hardware concept in 2008 to our OfficeMaster Gate, and this hardware family was or is since 2008 certified by Microsoft. In 2008, of course, for the Office Communication Server. few years later, in 2013, the OfficeMaster Gate was the sole officially certified media gateway in Europe by Microsoft. It is still today qualified as enhanced media gateway by Microsoft for the Link server 2013. And in 2014, we overtook the Innovative Limited company, and we integrated their core recording portfolio in our portfolio. And since this time, we offer cost-effective solutions for core recording. So then let's move on to the next slide. On slide 4, I want to give you a short overview about our business units. In general, we can say we have 3 business units. One business unit is about unified messaging. There is included our OfficeMaster Suite, so the solution for unified messaging regarding fax, voicemail, SMS, and so on. Then the second business unit we were talking about today is unified communications. Therefore, we have some media gateways and some other additional software products like entry control and zip to link. And the third business unit is about call recording. Here we have our products to record calls legally compliant, and it's also very easy to install and has a plug and play concept. Okay, then we move on page 5. A short overview in general about our OfficeMaster Gate product family. The entire Ferrari electronic product portfolio for Skype for Business and for Microsoft Link is certified by Microsoft. You have always an SBC function included on every OfficeMaster Gate. And you have, of course, different scenarios where you can use this product. You can use it as a unified messaging controller on the OfficeMaster Suite. You can use it as media gateway for Skype for Business, for Link 2013 or CCE. You can use it also for call recording and also in any other combination. So the whole product portfolio is developed and manufactured in Teltow. It's in suburb of Berlin, and we are very proud to say that our products are made in Germany. Okay, then on page 6, I want to go shortly through some important products of the OfficeMaster Gate family. There we have the OfficeMaster Gate Advanced. It's our newest product in this family. It is a physical gateway. It has up to 4 PRI interfaces, 4 BRI interfaces, and 2 analog interfaces. And it supports also up to 60 SIP connections. You can use it as unified messaging controller for our OfficeMaster Suite. You can use it also as media gateway for Skype for Business or Microsoft Link. You can use it also for call recordings in a zip trunk environment. And further functions, as I mentioned before, are SBC function is included. It's IPv6 ready. You can analyze websites. It has a recovery function, and it comes also with 2 power supplies. That means it is it has a redundancy. Okay, then we go to a bigger product. It's our OfficeMaster Gate UC 19-inch rack server. You can use it as of course, physical media gateway. It has interfaces up to 4 PRI, and it also supports 120 concurrent SIP connections. It is also unified messaging controller for the OfficeMaster Suite, also media gateway for Link and Skype for Business, and has also an SBC function, is IPv6 ready, and has also a recovery function and supports software rate. Depending on the hardware, it is also, or we supports also a hardware rate function. Okay, another interesting product because we are living in a digital transformation world is our OfficeMaster Gate Virtual Edition. It's a virtual gateway. That means it is an ISO image. You can use it through, for instance, Hyper-V or Xen. And it supports up to 120 SIP lines or SIP channels. It is also a unified controller for OfficeMaster Suite and Media Gateway for Microsoft Link 2013 and Skype for Business. Of course, it also supports a call recording function for SIP trunks, of course, because it's a virtual gateway. And other functions are the SBC function. It's also IPv6 ready, and you can also analyze websites. Okay, then we are going to slide 9, and this is the point where I would like to overhand to Johan, who will guide you through our recommendations regarding the CCE.
Yes, thank you very much, Robert. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Johann Deutinger. I'm with Ferrari Electronic for 29 years already. And all the time I've been specializing on communication details, protocols, and products for unified communication and unified messaging. Today, I would like to talk a little bit about Microsoft's cloud-based telephony offering and how our products can help in realizing that kind of solution. First of all, the strategy of Microsoft is going more and more into the cloud. So Cloud PBX is an optional license on the E-plans of Office 365. And in some countries, Microsoft even provides PSTN connectivity in the cloud, like you can see on this picture. So users only are using the client or the compatible phones. There are several brands in the meantime available, and all the telephony connectivity should go through the cloud. That's available in some countries. You have to you get separate numbers or port your existing numbers, but you have quite some limitations. Not all endpoints are supported. There's no chance for fax anymore if you only have that solution, no analog endpoints. And quality for PSTN call depends on the IP connectivity and quality between the location of the client and the Microsoft data center. So since this is not fitting all the customer needs, Microsoft is also offering different options for PSTN connectivity. How can I advance the slide? Sorry.
I press a tab.
Okay, because I tried to click. Okay, thank you. So there is something called hybrid voice. That means that users can still be registered and hosted in Office 365, but use local breakout for telephony, for phone calls. There are two different versions of this hybrid operation. One version is to have real Skype for Business servers on premises and gateways or SBCs and connectivity directly to SIP trunks, to PSTN, or through existing PBX. But in that case, you really have to have all those server roles and have to patch and have a lot of work with it. So for many customers who want to use the cloud to avoid local servers, there is the second alternative, which we are talking about today, which is called Cloud Connector Edition. That's a very small and elegant solution providing local PSTN connectivity. Currently, you can use only one of those two possibilities. Microsoft told us that in the future it will be possible to combine on different locations the full hybrid or the CCE version. The Cloud Connector Edition, so next slide, please. Well, in case of local PSTN breakout, all the clients, users during a phone call, the voice stream, the RTP stream is kept locally. That's good because it doesn't use any bandwidth or quality issues. But for so in contrary, if you have PSTN via cloud, you have the limited quality. You can use express route to it, but this is quite expensive. Okay, next one, please. How is the typical deployment of this Cloud Connector Edition? On premises, you have either an existing PBX still there or direct connectivity to PSTN. So the Cloud Connector Edition is going through SBC to the SIP trunk or to SIP interface of the PBX or through ISDN to the PSTN breakout. On the other side, everything is hosted in Office 365. Next slide, please. The Cloud Connector Edition itself consists of a Windows Server 2012 R2 machine, standard Windows machine, and Microsoft is providing PowerShell commandlets which automatically deploy all these 4 virtual machines which play together to act as a local connectivity breakout. So the customers are not involved with these details on these machines. Everything is done automatically. Even updates are done automatically by all these scripts from Microsoft. And on the local side, up to 2 gateways or session border controllers are supported and recommended by Microsoft to have better availability. And of course, firewall and edge role and certificate is also available on this Cloud Connect Edition. So next slide, please. So what is our concept? What do we recommend customers if they want to use the Cloud Connector Edition based PSTN connectivity for their cloud-based telephony users? So we strongly recommend to use standard server hardware for this Windows Server machine because this is extremely cost efficient compared to some proprietary appliance hardware. The customers can use their preferred brand they already are using for other purpose. So typically they may already have some spare server hardware in the rack if hardware failures occur, and so a replacement is very easy, fast, and not expensive. For the connectivity to the PBX or the PSTN from the CCE, all of our products, OfficeMaster Gate family of the OfficeMaster Gate family are fully supported. So the CCE itself contains a virtual mediation server which behaves exactly the same as the normal mediation server role on any kind of deployment of Link and Skype for Business. So all of our physical gateways with ESDN interfaces, RSDN interfaces, but also our virtual SBC with the SIP-to-SIP translation is fully supported. If a SIP trunk is used, it's also possible to host the virtual SBC on the same host machine as the CCE machines. And the configuration is very easy. So if the administrator already has had some short training about our gateways and our configuration and troubleshooting tools, it takes just a few minutes to create the configuration on the SBC or on the gateway. As an alternative, it may be possible to create some script to even automate this process a little bit more. So we have built kind of a sample script which may be used as a starting point for their own semi-automatic deployment. So if we go to the next slide, you could get an idea how such a script would work. So in that case, next slide, please. For the CCE deployment, Microsoft only needs to fill in the required local information into a single cloud connector.ini file, and this script may extract some interesting information from that file to start creating configuration for the gateway. In that case, we have selected the first gateway because it found 2 gateways in the file. And in next step, please click. Yes, you can see that such a script can extract all interesting information for the gateway or SPC, like the FQDN or the address or IP address of the mediation server and the port and protocol and its own address. So the IP address and protocol of the gateway, and the script can query the gateway and automatically find which type of gateway. And that the remaining part is, next slide, please. Selecting a template for different kinds of SIP connectivity, so pre-existing configuration can be filled in. So this kind of sample will be available for anyone interested, maybe in a few weeks or so at request. It's not an official product because that's not necessary. It's only starting help to create some automation. If you're doing a lot of deployments, it may save a few minutes on each one, maybe. Okay, so Robert, next please. Just to sum that up, the setting up the CCI is just 5 simple steps. Choose standard hardware for Windows Server role, and download and install the Microsoft PowerShell scripts and edit the cloud connector.ini file with local information like IP addresses, etc. Then run the PowerShell script, which takes a few hours to create all the virtual machines on the CCE appliance. This is all supplied by Microsoft. Then connect our virtual gateway or physical gateway and configure OfficeMaster Gate. On the right side, you see a typical high availability configuration where you may have 2 CCE in parallel with 2 gateways and SPCs, and each one talking to both sides on the other side. So if one of these 4 parts has a failure, everything else would continue working without any interruption. Okay, next, Robert. Okay, so that's from my side, I think. And I give back to Robert now to sum up this.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much, Johan. Okay, so yeah, I think we are nearly at the end of the presentation, and I want to give you a short summary about this whole presentation. One product fits for a lot of demands. It means you can use an OfficeMaster Gateway or one product of the OfficeMaster Gate family for nearly all demands. CCE script can be easily installed and configured, and the scripts are, of course, for free. It is an independent software. That means you can feel free regarding your usage of hardware. Our firmware is certified by Microsoft and also Skype for Business compatible. And yeah, for costs, I mean, it's always interesting. What about the costs? Feel free to ask Cytec for an official quotation. And last but not least, of course, you can also test our products, or the software products, also the virtual gateway. Via a test license. You can simply download it at our service portal. At the URL at the bottom of this presentation, simply create an account and select the software you want. And on the last slide, I want to give you a short summary about the possibilities about our portfolio. We as Ferrari Electronic, we are offering more as only a classical gateway or a classical gateway for the Cloud Connector edition. You can use our OfficeMaster Suite software for fax and voicemail also in the cloud. So in Office 365, you can use or can combine it with our entry control solution. Therefore, exists already a webinar which you can find on the YouTube channel of Cytec. And you can also combine all products with our core recording portfolio. Last but not least, on the last slide, I want to give you a short overview about our unique selling points and references. We are a German manufacturer. All products are developed and manufactured in Germany. We have an expertise since 25 years in unified communication, so we know what we are doing. The OfficeMaster Gate product family is since 2008 certified by Microsoft, and we have an easy license model and an independent software which you can use on nearly every hardware components you want. Okay, and then I have shortly mentioned some references about companies who are still using our whole OfficeMaster Gate product portfolio in a Skype for Business environment. If you're interested, please click the link and you will get these references. Yeah, and that's it. If you want to meet us in Dubai, we are taking part at the GITEX Technology Week this year at the booth of Cytec, and we are looking forward to meet you. Feel free and simply schedule an appointment via Cytec or directly via me or my colleague Dirk Krüger. And now we have I would say enough time or space for your questions.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Robert. Thank you very much, Johan, for this detailed and concise presentation. Before we jump into the questions from the audience, maybe we can just look at what we say as a summary in terms of a couple of different scenarios, just so that it's clear the different components that are offered and how they fit in with each other. So let's say, for example, scenario one is a system integrator in Saudi Arabia. They have an Office 365 customer with a SIP trunk given by the local telco, by Saudi Telecom. In that case, a deployment would be, as Johan mentioned, so you can have the CCE downloaded from Microsoft, installed on standard server hardware. You would take the Ferrari electronic CCE script, which is of course free. And then the only thing that's needed after that is the OfficeMaster Gateway Virtual Edition or Ferrari Electronics Session Border Controller, which can also be downloaded via the URL that you previously mentioned, or of course the Cytec team can provide it just by sending an email. So in that case, there's nothing really that's preventing a system integrator in Saudi Arabia for testing out such a scenario for one of their customers immediately. In case they're getting a SIP trunk directly from the provider. And then we have, if we're looking at a second scenario, let's say we have a system integrator in Bahrain, for example, and they have an Office 365 customer, and they're already using an existing analog gateway, let's say an FXO gateway, FXO on one side, speaking SIP on the other side. In that case, similar kind of thing. You would have the CCE downloaded from Microsoft, installed on standard server hardware, obtain the CCE script from Ferrari Electronic, and then the OfficeMaster Gateway would also be required, but that would be configured to speak to the generic, let's say, analog FXO gateway, if we are correct, for this scenario too here.
That's right. Just let me add that this CCE example script is not needed at all for that kind of deployment, because our normal GUI configuration tool is also very easy to handle and can be used as the standard tool to configure the SPC or the gateway. For the connectivity to the SIP trunk, as I mentioned, it's possible to coexist the virtual SPC on the same machine. There may be situations where the customers prefer to separate that on another virtual or physical machine. For example, if you have a SIP trunk with public IP, that is a static kind of SIP trunk, you have two network interfaces, you probably would like to separate that On the other hand, the simple kind of zip trunk with registration, which works from the internal IP address, easy can coexist on the machine.
Excellent, very good. I think let's jump to a couple of questions from the audience now. So the first one here is, there was no mention of FXO. Oh, just 2 seconds. Just 2 seconds. We're getting. There was no mention of FXO in the portfolio, in the product portfolio. So does that mean that Ferrari Electronic does not support analog FXO gateways in the portfolio?
Yes, that's right. We don't have our own FXO-based product because in many regions FXO isn't used at all. But we support, as you described, the coexistence with existing FXO gateways and can talk to them via SIP, because most of those FXO gateways are not qualified or certified by Microsoft, but using our virtual SPC between those devices and the Microsoft device creates a fully supported and certified combination.
And of course, the virtual SPCs you mentioned there, that's the Ferrari Electronic OfficeMaster Gateway, which
Yes.
of course people can
Yes.
obtain via the demo licenses and so on. Then we have another question. What is the difference between Ferrari Electronic and other CCE script solutions on the market?
Well, as I mentioned, we recommend using standard server hardware for the CCE, for the Microsoft part, because this is extremely cost efficient. If you have proprietary hardware with some specific Windows Server part inside, it's normally much more expensive and harder to obtain as a spare part if something happens with hardware. That's from the hardware part. From the other side, even if such an appliance has some additional, let's say, web UI for configuration, it's the same kind of information that has to be entered as the one in the cloud connector.ini file. So the difference is very small in deployment effort.
Okay, excellent. And then I think we have, well, the last question here looks to be a little bit more general. What is Ferrari Electronic's opinion on the new Cloud Connector Edition version 2 from Microsoft? Maybe you can share some thoughts on that, Johan.
Yes, the most important thing in the version 2 is a media bypass, which is really very helpful because it has a lot of advantages. So the versions before 2.0 did not support media bypass. That means all the audio streams went through the local mediation server all and back again to the between gateway and user. That means it's more latency, it's more chance of packet loss, and it's more load on the CPU of the appliance. So that means with media bypass, the audio stream, the RTP stream is going directly between between the user device and the gateway or SPC without going through the mediation server. So you don't need as much of CPU power, so scalability is also much better then.
Excellent, very good. I think actually we've covered the questions now. So unless there's anything else, I think we're going to say thank you very much, Robert, and thank you very much, Johan, for the concise and detailed presentation. And of course, for anyone, as Robert already mentioned, for anyone wishing to meet the Ferrari Electronic team, all of us are going to be at the upcoming GITEX exhibition in Dubai. So that's 8 to 12 October in Dubai. And of course, for anyone wanting to have a free day pass or anything like that, they can just contact us at sales@cytec.ae. So I think we're going to say thank you very much, Robert. Thank you very much, Johan. And thanks to everyone for attending. And we look forward to seeing you at GITEX.
Yeah, thank you very much also from our side.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.